Well, speaking of people that I love, and I'm sure you tolerate him, I want to ask you about the brilliant Luis J. Gomez. I think he's fucking hilarious, but he also seems like kind of a bit of a handful. So, how is it being sat beside the rattlesnake?
It's 10 long years into our friendship, and I want to say we've been doing the podcast together for like five now. Uh, Lewis is infuriating. He's a lot to handle, and he's embarrassing to be around in public. I've seen entire Starbucks full of people make fun of him as he leaves for him barking out orders at people. But at the same time, he walked my mother down the aisle at my wedding. Like, he's one of my best friends.
He did that for he's a sweetie pie. I'm gonna whack off thinking about that later on, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, he is one of my closest friends, and I really enjoy him. He is as infuriating as he is a genuinely good dude, and that really is the guy. Like, there is no on and off. Like, as much as we pretend we're characters, that's the dude that's walking around at all times.
But that's
And beyond that, he is the best dad I've ever met.
uh,
Nobody loves their kid more and is better to their kid than Lewis.
I've see the thing about people like Lewis, why I think they're popular and on the rise is, as you say, the real. Like that's why I love Anthony Cumia, and I interviewed Anthony on this earlier this year, and he was drinking beers. Like you could hear him going, and you think, yes, that's what you want Anthony Cumia to do.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it reminds me of the story Foley tells in his book about when Diamond Dallas Page first came on the scene, and Abdullah the Butcher was like, dude, he was like, he's going to be a big deal. And Foley goes, why? He goes, he lives his gimmick. And that to me is Lewis. He lives the gimmick. The same, like, just when you see somebody that can be who they are on stage, on podcasts, in real life, and there's something about it that's undeniable.
But that's I love real people because as was mentioned earlier, I work for Conan,
Mm-hmm.
and I shouldn't really be saying this, but there's a story that's probably going to come out about him.
Excellent.
It's like just that's what you want them to do, That's the NWO kind of way.
So, so what you're saying is Conan doesn't just play a Mexican; he is one.
Oh well, he identifies as Cuban at the minute.
Whatever. That's Cuba is an island off the coast of Mexico.
As far as I'm concerned, they all work for us. But I gotta ask you, but we're talking about the lovely Lewis. Uh, that whole Nicole Arbor thing. Do you think he kind of made it out to be sort of a bigger deal than what it was?
No, because that fucking I hate it. I We have a sneaking suspicion she contacted a lot of our sponsors, and that's a real shitty move because she went after the finances of not just Lewis, but his co-host and the other people that work on that show. So when you take away our ad revenue, you're attacking multiple people's ability to, raise their families, pay their rent, etc. So fuck her.
But see, the thing about her I don't get is if you look at her Twitter, she has a comparatively low number.
Yeah.
Yet if you look at fucking or not Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram and fucking YouTube, it's huge, and it's like, well, why isn't this crossing over?
Because no one cares about her words.
Yeah, and she's not funny.
Oh, she stinks, and so even the whole thing with her, everything she was tweeting at Lewis, and kind of the Gas Digital Legion of Skanks crowd. If you looked at it, her tweets would have like 5 retweets and 30 likes, as opposed to somebody like Lewis, who has drastically less followers than her, but would have 5 times, 10 times the amount of likes and retweets, which just means his audience is that much more engaged and actually cares about what he says, as opposed to her, who is just a fucking pretty lady who people tolerate what she says so they can look at her.
But is she even really that pretty? I mean, she kind of reminds me of. Do you ever get when you unpeel a banana and you think, now look at that fucking banana, that is a good banana, and then after a couple of minutes you go, oh fuck, it's kind of going brown here, it's kind of going off. It's like it's still an edible, but it's not a great banana, and that's the way I think of her. She's the banana of comedy.
Yeah, she's definitely. She hears that clock ticking, and I think she's already starting to shop for tasteful outfits to wear when she's a pundit on Fox News.
I'm stealing that one.
Please feel free.